You got 3:30?
Yes.
Okay, 3:30? Okay, it's 3:30, I'm gonna call the meeting to order, roll call, Brian?
Here.
Sue?
Here.
Smith is present, we have 3 non-public sessions. I'll make a motion to go into non-public on the RSA 91A32A for session 1, RSA 91A32C for session 2, and RSA 91A32D for session 3. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Aye.
Roll call, Brian?
Aye.
Sue?
Yes.
Yes, and Smith is yes, non-public for 3 sessions.
3:30. 3:56.
Okay, I make a motion to re-enter the public meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to seal the minutes from non-public session 1, session 2, and session 3. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so want to read your document there?
Okay. Check voucher totals for the week ending May 25th, 2024. Wages, $35,155.18. Payroll taxes, $10,024.77. Total payroll, $45,179.95. Accounts payable as of May 25th, 2004. General fund, $46,996.69. Water, $343.17. Sewer, $605.96. Revolving fund, $408.28. Total accounts payable, $48,354.10. Total fund payments, $93,534.05. I make a motion, we approve these checks voucher totals.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
That's accurate.
I have 3 sets of minutes, one from April 29th, one from May 13th, and one from May 15th. Make a motion to approve these.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I have a police officer residence and cruiser take-home policy. The board has each received a copy, you reviewed it. So I make a motion to approve this policy effective immediately.
Second.
Any more discussion or questions on it? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
You
Can
want
I borrow that? Yeah.
So, we have to make an announcement. We received, this has been ongoing now for probably close to 3 years, right, correct, Matt, Eisner?
Four.
Almost 4 years when I first got elected. George Eisner left a large amount of money to the town of Ossipee. It finally got finalized through Bank of America and all the legal channels. He left $2,156,997.91 to the town of Ossipee for the purchasing conservation land only. That's correct, right?
100% correct.
Which is incredible news. It's gonna go through the Conservation Commission also to go through this process. But I make a motion to accept these funds as presented.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think, Brian, you gotta initial that one. So I have a request from Edwina Booz, Chair of Friends of Constitution Park. She's applying for the grant through the Recreational Trails Program, and basically, this is for the Deer Run Trail that we've talked about so many times and have been raising money for and appropriated money for through town meeting last year. So I make a motion to appoint Matt to resolve to authorize Matt to enter in this grant application and administer it if so approved, the town administrator that is. So I make that motion, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Matt, do I need to sign the second page?
No, I signed the second page as long as you.
Yeah, we all initialed it. You want this back right away?
Yeah, I'll take that too.
I got a supplemental tax warrant in the amount of $230. Make a motion to approve this.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. It's for map 272, lot 35. Matt, you want this Eisner check stuff, thing back too? Sure. I got a notice of intent to cut It's for map 270, lot 13. Taxes are paid, no cemetery. Make a motion to approve this.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I got a veterans credit tax exemption request. The assessor recommends we grant one and deny the other for the 100% service disabled. It wasn't verified. It's for map 239, lots 5 and 4. Make a motion to grant RSA 7228 and deny the deny the 100% service disability credit.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
These are gonna be in a group. I have 1, 2, 4 application for current use assessments. First one is for map, it's for 25 Pine Hill Road. I'm looking for the map and lot. Oh, I'm sorry, it's right in front of me. Map 38, lot 4, in the amount of, oh, this is not the one, sorry, this is to apply for current use. I made a mistake. Map 38, lot 4, make a motion to approve the application for current use. Oh, retract that. I make a motion to approve this one. Then map 38, lot 5, for the same thing, application for current use. Then map 251, lot 2, application for current use. And the next one is map 60, lot 14, application for current use. So I have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I got an application for change of address from 870 Route 16 to 870 Route 16, Unit A, just for 911. We have to approve this, make a motion to approve it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I had original warrant yield tax levy. These are for timber cuts. First one is for map 130, lot 9, sub 1, in the amount of $0 because they didn't cut. The next one is for map 272, lot 53, in the amount of $0, the same reason they didn't cut. Next one is for tax map 1, lot 3 and 4, tax map 204, lot 3, 4, 5, and 6, tax map 206, lot 3, tax map 207, lot 5, 6, and 7, in the amount of $1,178.42. Next one is for map 68, lot 1, in the amount of $8,605.58. Make a motion to approve those.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright. I have a whole stack of abatement. These are all denials. I'm gonna go through each one. You know what, he didn't do map and lots on these. I'm gonna have to go by address. So these are abatement recommendations to deny on every one. First one is for 10 Spur Road. Next one is for 195 Levitt Road. Next one is for 12 Old Bay 1. Hold on a minute. Old Broad Bay 1. I knew that was a mistake.
You did.
Next one is for 13 Conifer Road. Next one is for 27 Woodcrest Drive. Next one is for 330 Newman Drew Road. 20 Mount Shore. Next one is 193 Doors Corner Road. Next one is 99 Route 28. 120 Old Granite. 54 Thurley Road. 7 Valley Road. 84A Route 16B. 182 Route 16B. 8 Hodgson Shore Road. 9 Laddie Lane. 60 Hodgson Shore Road. 335 Pine Hill Road. 50 Chapel Road. 32 Long Sands Road. 74 Pequawka Trail. 85 Pequawka Trail. 15 Patriot Way. 85 Chapel Road. 80 Deer Cove Road. 136 Deer Cove Road. 100 Deer Cove Road. 110 Nichols Road. 24 Captain's Way. 2125 Route 16, 39 Nichols Road, 18 Bear Camp River Road, 31 Bear Camp River Road, 28 Bear Camp River Road, 14 Bear Camp River Road, 855 Route 16, 53 Chickville Road, 53 Route 16B, 80 Brownsridge Road, 44 Sawyer Road, 76 Walker Hill Road, 89 Walker Hill Road, 921 Route 16, 75 Moultonville Road, 46 Channel Road, 80 Levitt Road, 84 Levitt Road. I make a motion to deny all those abatement requests.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, these are the land use change tax, this is what I was referring to. So these are land use change tax. This is the bill that they have to pay for the current use change status. These are for, let me find this. Map 223, Lot 3, and it says sub 3. It's in the amount of $8,760. Make a motion to approve that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make sure I didn't miss anything. Next one is for this one is for 14 Hawthorne Road in the amount of $5,400. Make a motion to approve this.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, these are requests for clerical abatements. Only a handful. These are all to be granted, I believe. Well, yes, they are. So the first one is for tax map 130 lot 12 sub 45. The abatement amount is $55. The next one is map 130 lot 12 sub 35 in the amount of $113. Next one is map 29 lot 1 sub 164 in the amount of $136. The next one is map 272 lot 35 in the amount of $230. Next one is from map 73 lot 140 sub 4A in the amount of $81. The next one is map 73 lot 140 sub 3 in the amount of $138. The next one is map 104 lot 14 sub 4 in the amount of $243. These are all for campers. Make a motion to approve these clerical abatements.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Two notice of decisions, one from the planning board, case number 2403 SPR, Calderwood Real Estate. They were granted a conditional site plan approval to expand a gravel surface to be used for additional boat storage. Next one is tax map 224 lot 6, case 2401 SUBD. They were granted a conditional approval for a subdivision. That's it on those two. Okay. That's everything I got. Got it?
That was very efficient.
It's the only way to be,
That
man.
was impressive.
So, anything else before I adjourn till the public hearing?
I think Sue had something.
Oh, you had something, sir?
No.
No?
No?
You mentioned something to me before the meeting, I didn't know if that was meant for the meeting or,
I thought that should be in non-public, no?
okay.
Do you need another non-public? It's up to you if you do, if not.
Do you think it should be or not?
I don't, if you're not gonna use any name, I don't think it qualifies for any,
Non-public.
yeah,
Okay, about the bridge.
right.
Tuesday, May 21st, 2024, at 5:36 p.m., a 17-year-old jumped off the bridge at the Mill Pond by Moultonville Road and Patty Acre Road. He had a very bad cut to the bone with serious bleeding. The rescue was called. From there, I don't know what happened, but I know quite often going by there, it says no jumping off the bridge. And there are young people jumping off the bridge. And I was very concerned that someone would get hurt all this time. And this, someone did get hurt. And I was, wanted to bring up that maybe something could be done about, something put up higher so they can't get on the railing of the bridge, so that they can't jump off the bridge or off from a height. And that was my main concern.
I'd be afraid if we put a fence up, some kid would try to climb over that fence and definitely get hurt. That's the only downside to your point.
But how can it be enforced? It says signs there, no jumping off the bridge, and they do it all the time. And you cannot have authority there 24, well, it wouldn't be 24, but during
Right.
daylight time
Right.
to cover it. So I was just wanting to bring that to the attention to the board.
Would you like to see a fence, that's what I'm trying, a fence down the whole way? Is that what I'm getting, I could see kids.
I don't know just what to do,
Yeah,
but I wanted to bring that up
Okay.
because it's a serious situation, I believe.
okay. I wonder,
I share the same thing. If you put a chain link fence up, I just know.
Kids are gonna climb to the
I know my
top.
kids would climb up and jump off from
Yeah.
10 feet higher.
right, it'd be a higher
And
jumping
the injuries
point.
would be worse, right?
Right.
So I know that police do enforce it, over the years I've seen them do it. I mean, we could pass along to the chief to
Yeah.
just, keep an eye on it. It's usually when it's hot, like it was over the
Yeah,
weekend.
it's a tough situation.
Yeah. Pass it along to the chief and have him keep an eye out when the cops are rolling by.
Yeah, because sadly, there's a lot of debris where they do jump, and you go down, well, not that I would know, but like if you were to jump off, you could entangle
Yeah, you
your
could.
ankle in a shopping cart and never come up.
Right, because that's where everything collects in the volume
Yeah,
of
so
water.
it's a huge safety issue,
Yeah.
and it's like one of my biggest fears, quite frankly. living
Very
nearby.
concerned about safety. That's the main thing, of safety, and so that's all I have on that. but
How many
that's it.
signs are there now? One?
Yeah, there's at least one, but
The only thing we could do is add another sign, make it visible.
I think we should put another sign right where they do it from. There's a 10-foot span that you can safely jump.
So we could add another sign, Sue, would that satisfy, you think? I mean, that'd make it better.
It's a good start.
All right,
It's
so
a start on the situation.
When
that
TJ's
is at
back,
hand.
may I pass it along to him to have another sign added, I think, to the bridge, there's no harm in it.
Right.
Yeah.
And we can relay to the chief that it's happening,
Right.
or someone got hurt. He might know about it.
That's all I have.
Okay, anything else? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We've got myself.
Thank you.
All right, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 4:15.
Well, I've not seen any figures for retrofitting.
Any location in town.
Absolutely.
So there's no reason to
Police station can have its tower here. The county can use its tower here.
we can put it in here.
Hey, Bob, you didn't come to the award ceremony.
Congratulations. No, I didn't. I gotta say, well done.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, you were part of it.
All right, I didn't see you coming.
Found him in my baby jacket yesterday.
Man, I got that same compressor.
Oh, yeah?
It's an Ingersoll Rand. That's a pretty good one.
That's a heater.
That's a heater. It's gas. Yeah, we couldn't build this building. No way. I don't even know if we could buy the land.
No, yeah,
That part I don't disagree with. A couple things I do.
everyone's not gonna be happy with everything.
Please everybody.
You're 100% correct. Okay, everyone, it's 5 o'clock. Thank you for coming. I am going to call the public hearing to order. Unfortunately, we don't have a flag, so I'm not going to do the pledge tonight. Unfortunately, we forgot to bring one.
Got one of your shoulder.
Oh, you want to say would you want to say the pledge tonight? First order of business was the demolition of the building. Let me do a quick roll call, Brian.
Here.
Sue?
Here.
And Smith is here. First order of business was the demolition of the building at 15 Moultonville Road. Since we received a petition to demolish the building, it's going to go to town meeting. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make a motion. I make a motion to call a special town meeting with a date to be determined by the board. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
So what that means is, there's going to be a special town meeting prior to March town meeting next year. That's under the purview of the Board of Selectmen. We just made the motion, so watch for that agenda coming forward, and that's going to be purely to demolish 15 Moultonville Road. That's going to be the only item on the agenda for that evening. I also want to make it clear, now that this is going to petition a town meeting, even if that building is voted to not be demolished, Main Street is not going back in that building. It's not about Main Street. They have no jurisdiction over the building. It's under the control of the Board of Selectmen. That building is going to remain under the control of the Board of Selectmen. It's not about putting Main Street back in the building. It's unfortunate. That petition, in my opinion, and the board's opinion, it really is just a waste of taxpayer time and money. But unfortunately, that is the process. So there is no public hearing tonight. I am changing the agenda due to the petition regarding the demolition of 15 Moultonville Road. We're going to get right into the business of purchasing this building, 43 Chickville Road, and selling 7 Door Street, which is the old police department. For those of you who don't know, the purchase price of this building is $699,000. That is a bargain, the deal of the century. It's been talked about for years that we need a new police department. We're getting away with millions of dollars by doing this. I don't know if you follow the news. I have talked about it at the previous public hearing. Conway had a $9 million expansion that was voted down by the people. That was just an expansion. Wolfboro's in the process of doing a $14 million expansion. Freiburg, Maine was in the paper. They wanted to do a $16 million public safety combination building. Point is, to build takes millions of dollars today. This building will probably serve the department in perpetuity. It can be expanded, it can be modified. It's not perfect the way the office layout is, but that's all interior wall, non-load bearing. That's cheap money to make those renovations to where it needs to be. One thing I forgot to add, prior to these, this is the second hearing of 2, prior to the first hearing, the Planning Board and Conservation Commission did meet. By statute, they were required to vote to whether or not to recommend the purchase of this, the sale of the old PD, and the demolition of 15 Moultonville, which is not on the agenda, but they did overwhelmingly, unanimously vote to support the plan of the Board of Selectmen. So that says a lot. They're all elected officials except for Conservation. They're appointed by the board, but it was unanimous vote to support this plan. So $699,000 is going to be no tax money utilized. We have $260,000 in ARPA. We have the sale of the old PD, which is asking $399,000. Hopefully we walk away with $350,000. Maybe better. I don't know. I mean, the real estate market's still hot, which is good. That leaves about $90,000 we got to come up with. That's going to come from the general fund through the police department operating budget and other unspent funds in the operating budget. It's going to be a 0 tax increase. Zero new tax money to purchase this facility. Trying to think of anything else. 6,100 square feet, 2.8 acres, what you got here. Big piece of land, many possibilities outside for an impound yard for the PD, which they sorely needed when they impound vehicles. It's got a communications tower, it's got an on-site generator with only 600 hours on it, which is nothing for a generator, things like brand new when it comes to running time. That's barely broken in. It really is just a stellar facility, and this is just a win for all the taxpayers in town, without question. This is something that's going to go for 20 years into the future. So with that being said, I will open it to questions now, but I also want to take a 10-minute break so everyone can tour the facility. Does everyone, I'm going to ask the consensus here, do we want to tour first and then come back with questions? Or do you want to ask questions and then go tour? Tour first, someone said it. So let's tour, let's take a 10-minute break, let's come back at 5:20. It's almost 15 minutes, and come back with questions.
All right.
So wander around.
We have
see
a
if
tour
everyone-
guide? We have a tour guide?
I don't think there's much. I
I'm
mean,
just playing with you.
He's kidding with you.
I have my questions. My questions are pretty straightforward. I've already asked him. Jonathan already knows my question. Oh, you would like me to tour? Okay, I'll tour the building. I don't need to. Yeah, this is nice. All right, so just going up through here. Stinks in here.
Yeah, it does not smell
Yeah. Ooh. That doesn't smell good. So what is this? Is this just an office?
Case I missed something.
So this is just an office. Oh, okay. So this looks like someplace you would. Yeah, like you could greet people here, I guess.
That could be full of fish. Talk to people. You let anybody in. You staying out of trouble?
Got it.
What is this? This is where they keep the fuel?
You're looking at it right
Well,
there.
there's some oil tanks here, but this is the stairway up. Really, it's just remaining over here. It's all fences, nothing about here. Just, you're welcome to go peek while he's up there. It's just storage. There's water here. Yeah, that's it. Well, when you own it, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's the front of the building, isn't it?
Well,
Right there?
No, that's the kitchen over here.
Yeah, but I'm saying the front of the building. I don't see it in a full kitchen. Full salt water heat.
Flash there.
How you doing?
Be careful up there.
There's not much up there. There's a little bit.
Yeah. You know what I haven't seen is a
Everybody's gonna be good, you won't need a jail. Everybody's gonna be good, you won't need a jail.
Well, but do we actually have a confinement area? They would need.
My understanding is they're gonna reconfigure the floor plan, so it's gonna look different than.
Yeah, then we got Jerry.
There's those walls.
So Caleb and Abby work for Irwin Machine, Caleb and Marine. Caleb's a Marine tech and Abby does the boat thing. We met with baseball. Baseball or? No, what's the
That's the end of the line.
So there's nothing really upstairs.
The kitchen could be the beginning of the line.
They won't have to do much remodeling. Let's see what they got for a heating system. Oh, that's a good heating system. Yeah, 4 salt water.
In the floor heat.
Yeah, radiant heat. No, and it also goes in coils up above. You can see some of the vents for the air conditioning.
Where are they gonna
But that's a brand new boiler.
keep talking?
Yeah, don't let the,
That's all we ask. Okay, it's 5:20. I'm going to reconvene this meeting. Everyone's had a tour. Questions, just raise your hand, state your name, and ask your question, and we will answer it or defer it to someone else who may be able to answer it. Just hold on. Go ahead, sir, in the back.
Andy Northrup, what does the board envision as a timetable for purchasing this building and selling another building? Is that going to be a contingent arrangement? And when does the police department move?
So it's as soon as we can complete this hearing process, and it's got to go through the, how much time we got, maybe? Probably end of July, I would imagine, for this to close.
And we're going to close before we have sold the other building, or?
If necessary, we will.
Okay, and where do the funds for that come from?
So we have plenty of money. For example, we have $300,000 in a petition warrant, in a paving warrant article. We can allocate those funds temporarily to pay for this building, and then when those monies come back into unanticipated revenue, and we can reshift it towards paving.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Bob. Bob Gillette.
Yeah, Bob Gillette. First of all, do you have an independent assessor's affirmation of the sale price of the police station?
The old one?
Yeah.
We have an assessor. Who's our realtor, Matt? He's right here. You want to speak to that, sir?
No, I'm not asking for an independent assessor.
He's the realtor that's listening. He can answer it.
They can't hear the question back there.
Coming on at $399.9 or $399 even, I believe it is. We're ready to list that. There's a flag in front of it for a sign which will be posted by weekend, by the end of this week, beginning of next week. And with arrangements with the chief, we'll be able to show it anytime.
Just state your name and who you work for. He's just trying to understand how you came up with the value.
This is a public building. Did you have an independent assessor affirm that sale price?
I did not have an assessor do it. I did a CMA looking at values that are comparable. There are not a lot of them in Ossipee. I went outside the range to see that. By the way, my name is Mitch Hamill. I'm with Berkshire Hathaway Farm Realty. So the answer to your question is no formal appraisal by an appraiser.
Thank you. Next question. Someone had their hand up. Okay, Misty?
Misty Ryder, I'm speaking on behalf of OCC, Ossipee Concerned Citizens. Now, you guys assess the area, and does that include the playground, or are we still gonna have access?
The playground, as we currently speak, is being subdivided off to a boundary line adjustment by White Mountain Survey and Engineering. Jim Rhines is taking care of that as we speak. So the playground is going to be placed onto the freight house lot. So the playground is still going to be public property. It's nothing, none of that is changing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback that,
Sure.
the pricing for the police department was an exclusion of that lot, so it was never a consideration to be part of that.
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, just state your name, please.
Jeannie Milroy.
Okay.
There's a third building we've been talking about. Was it the water department or something? That was 7 Door Street. What's that? The police
That's the
station?
police department.
15.
Moultonville, which we're not doing that part of the hearing because I stated the reasons early on. Yeah.
Where is that?
That is on, it's at where the gazebo park is,
Yeah.
but that's not on the agenda right now. Were you here at the beginning of the hearing tonight?
I was here at 5.
Okay, so I explained that we received a petition and that's not being discussed tonight. It's going to a special town meeting.
Yeah. Just when you said one important word, I heard there was a noise and
Oh, I'm sorry.
I missed something.
Okay, and then 43 Chickville. So it's 43 Chickville and 7 Door Street is what we're discussing.
Okay, great.
No problem, thank you. Go ahead, Dallas.
Dallas Henry. So I brought this up at the planning board meeting last Tuesday, and I'm going to throw it out there again. I think the price for the building is phenomenal. I think it's a great buy. My thought is that it should not be the police department, that it should be the highway department. And the highway department should be moved, the police department should be moved behind the town hall. Because no matter what we do, we have to retrofit these buildings. It's going to be an extra cost. This would make a better highway department than it would a police department. Just my opinion. I wanted to throw it out there. As far as parking, seeing as how we can't do anything with the water and sewer department as it stands, we could always move the water and sewer department where the police department would be behind the town hall as well, because we have plenty of room back there, and knock down that building for parking. Another idea I would throw out there. So, and I wanted to bring it up, that's all.
But that's taking $400,000. Where are you gonna get the $400,000 from?
It has nothing to do with the police department that's there already.
No, the old 7 Door Street, we're gonna sell that and bring that revenue
I
in.
didn't bring that one up at all. I said we take the police department that's there now,
Right.
move it behind the town hall. We take the water and sewer department that's there now, move it behind the town hall. We take this building and make it the highway department. And then you can still sell the old police department, then you knock down the building across the street, because we can't sell it, it belongs to the state, and we make that parking lot.
Chief, do you have an opinion on moving the PD behind the town hall?
I do have an opinion. I don't think it's feasible with that building. That's a maintenance garage. There's already lifts in there. You can't put lifts in these floors. There's radiant heat here. That's the first thing. And the amount of work that the maintenance guys do in that building is sufficient. I think this garage space is smaller, so I don't think it's feasible, or I don't think it would work.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, state your name, sir.
Wayne Marshall.
Sure.
It's not a question, it's an observation. This town is growing like hops. Everybody knows that. You can't drive anywhere without seeing new driveways going into the woods, new buildings. We got more people coming here, and nothing is ever going to stop that or slow it down. Right now, there's a deal here which everybody thinks we can pay for. It's a building which would expand the capabilities of the police department for many years to come. And with all the unrest and instability which is going on in this country today, it would be insane to think that we aren't going to need a bigger public safety structure in fairly short order. That's basically all I have to say.
Thank you. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Bob Joy again. For the arithmetic challenge, such as myself, could you run through the numbers again?
Sure.
Slowly. $700,000 for this property. $350 sale for the police station.
We're asking 400, so we walk away with
Yeah,
350.
That makes it easier. That leaves $350 to be
We
accounted
have
for.
260 in ARPA funds that we have.
I didn't know where the other 260
Yeah,
was coming from.
I talk a little fast sometimes, so you
So
might.
you've got 90 from federal grants and 260
90 is gonna come from the general operating fund.
Oh, okay. And 260 from the federal.
260 from ARPA,
I
yes,
guess.
correct. Go ahead, Mr. Bowie.
Bob Bowie. I was just concerned, we have a 30-mile-an-hour zone out here with many bends in the road. There should be a safety concern for like an emergency situation for cruiser has to take off.
Chief, do you want to answer that about responding from here?
Have definitely safety.
Usually, police officers respond from the field, not the police department. Once in a while, they're probably in there doing reports, booking somebody, doing paperwork. That's understandable. But it's the same speed limit downtown. What is going to alleviate is there's no school. We always worry. What's that?
It only takes one time.
Yep, but it's the same thing downtown. And what it's going to alleviate is the school traffic. We won't have to worry about running blue lights and siren during school time. That's a concern of mine, and it's a concern of a lot of you guys that approach me about it. There's no school here. And you can reach anywhere in the town, just the same amount of time from this building.
But to be clear, police officers respond from the street, very rarely from the building. Could they respond from the building? Yes. They're not like a fire department responding from the station. They're out on patrol. So a cop could be in Ossipee Corner, get a call in West Ossipee, take them 20 minutes to get up Route 16 to get there, or maybe longer because of traffic. So point is, that's a small thought about responding from this facility because it's not a primary function of this. Any other questions? Go ahead, state your name.
Again, what does it cost to make this building functional as a police department? I mean, obviously, it's not a police department now. You need infrastructure, security capabilities, internet, all that stuff. What does that cost, and what's the time frame for making that happen?
So the wiring infrastructure is already here. Security, the doors are already keyed in. That's already, already set up as it is. If the building could be used now as it sits, correct, Chief?
Yes, if we had to come in here today, it would be fine. The current building has no security.
Right.
There's nothing. The infrastructure there, we just recently upgraded internet, and they only could do so much because of the whole structure itself, the interior portion of things. So this building here was used by a co-op. You imagine their capabilities of sending out bills? They're getting paid.
The technology's in the building.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Joy.
Joy Gagnon. So this floor is heated. Can this be an emergency shelter?
So, Dana, you're the emergency management. Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so it could be that with an emergency shelter, aside from having a building, you have to have a lot of other things in place before you can do that.
Can you speak up, please?
Yeah, sorry. Training is one of them. So right now, currently, we don't have anyone trained in Ossipee to run a shelter. So typically what we do, most fire chiefs or police chiefs are the emergency management directors for the towns. So typically what we do when something happens is we all group together and have a meeting by phone, whatever it happens to be, when there's an event. And we basically try to get one in the county and usually move that around. I'm not saying this couldn't be. I think it could be, and it's something to definitely discuss if that's something that you guys want to do. But it takes a lot of volunteers, a lot of time. I think this building, if you compare it to other buildings in town, would be appropriate, more appropriate than anything we have now. So I don't know if that answers.
It's a possibility, but it takes legwork, is what you're saying.
It sort of does. I understand the training, but like during that power outage that we all had during the storm, Effingham School was open for people, correct?
Yes. Yep.
So like that could possibly be here if
Yes.
you agreed to.
Yeah, and one of the reasons we chose Effingham is because they had the most damage. So they had, don't quote me on the numbers, I believe there was 10 people at the shelter, and none of them were from Ossipee, just by chance. So if it ever happened that we were getting information that the majority of people in Ossipee need help, we would find something more local to Ossipee. That's typically how we go about that.
Okay, any other questions?
So this can be used as an emergency shelter?
No. What the fire chief is saying is it's a possibility to explore. There are steps that you need to become a certified location in order to operate it.
Correct.
Right, so it's not just a matter of we're going to designate it and utilize it.
It has potential.
Yeah, it does. I guess like anything with the relevant research and application, yes.
Andy Northwick,
Go ahead.
related to that, is the Ossipee Central School a viable alternative for?
They typically don't. Effingham School did. Typically, they don't like you to use schools because the buildings don't typically belong to the town. Like in our case, it belongs to the school district. So there's a long list of liability issues and stuff that you'd have to wait for in order to get that done.
Does it have a generator?
The school?
Yeah.
No.
That makes it a little harder too.
Yes, that's a good point.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dallas.
Dallas Emmer. I'm gonna go back to, so nobody misunderstands me. I don't have a problem with the building. I think it's a great buy. I think we should buy the building. For the price, it's definitely worth it. My only question mark is, what should be here? I still think that the police department should be in town, closer to the school, closer to the town hall. I also think that we have some FCC things that are gonna have to go on with this tower out here. Not sure what that cost is gonna be. And I realize that we may be able to use it for other things, but it can all be accomplished from where they're located now. They don't necessarily have to be in this building. So, I'm not saying we shouldn't buy the building. I think we should. For the price, definitely. What I'm saying is, it should be the highway department, not the police station.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you, Dallas. Any other questions? He was up, his hand was first. State your name again, sir.
I'll throw out one other observation. If there is a problem at the school or the town hall being targeted, you don't want the police station located in the same place. This is less than 5 minutes from both of those buildings, and it can respond quickly in an organized fashion, which if there's any kind of a problem going on downtown, the ability to respond to it would be more restricted.
Thank you.
I hate to think in those terms, but I know what you're saying.
Thank you.
I don't know if it's true, but.
Go ahead, Bob.
Bob Woodigan, I agree that this whole deal makes a great deal of common sense about the timing, and shouldn't it be included in a town meeting also for approval?
It does not have to be. We have authority under 4114A to go through these two public hearings. This is the process. If we had to appropriate money, then you are correct. It has to go to either next town meeting, or we'd have to call a special town meeting
Yep.
with only DRA approval in order to do that, or a Superior Court judge. But we don't, since we are not appropriating money, we don't have to pursue it that way. Thank you.
Isn't taking money?
Go ahead,
from
Mr. Bowie.
One area, isn't that appropriation of funds?
No, it's not. Go ahead, state your name, please.
Michael Stevens. So what happens when the old police station takes a year or two to sell? You know, because that can happen, it could take
Sure.
even longer, it might not even sell, it might sit there vacant forever.
Correct.
What do you do with the funds that you can't take from that? Where do we pull the funds from?
So like I explained with a previous question, I forget who asked, we could take $300,000 from the paving line, appropriate those funds towards that building, and when that money does come in, it goes in as unanticipated revenue.
And if it never comes in?
It will come in, the building will sell. Explain to me what building hasn't sold in this real estate market?
It's not a really good building and not a really good location.
Ma'am, you had a question in the back?
Yes, so what paving jobs are we gonna lose by this reappropriating?
I'm sorry, state the question
What,
again?
what paving jobs are we losing because you're gonna reappropriate the funds from the paving jobs to this building?
We're not at that point yet.
So when will you get that?
Once we allocate whether or not we're gonna sell the PD. And I believe the only paving job that was gonna occur, I think, was Granite Road, correct, Matt? You remember, the Public Works Director couldn't be here tonight, he had a prior commitment.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah, that's primarily, that's the road. State, Mike,
Michael Stevens.
Sure.
So if the building doesn't sell, and then you do have to appropriate the funds from that area,
Yep.
right? So what happens when you take the funds from there, and then you can't do the paving job that is allocated to do, to make it right?
That's the trade-off, right? You wanna acquire this good building for this price in the near term, you have to make a sacrifice. So that paving job, it'll get paved next year. It'll have to wait till next year. Not the end of the world. During COVID, we pushed off paving because we had no idea what revenue was coming in. We stopped all paving. It's not the end of the world. It's not an emergency paving or repair. It's general maintenance. It can wait, if needed to wait. Mr. Bowie, go ahead.
Don't you think that should be on a town vote?
No.
We are pretty, Mitch, what do you want to say about the market in terms of 7 Door Street? We feel pretty optimistic.
I'm, if I had a crystal ball, I'd probably be someplace else and seeing it on my feet, but, I'm pretty confident that we're gonna get activity on that building. It'll serve a purpose for multiple uses as well. The fact that it has 3 bay garages attached to the back, surrounded with a paved parking lot, it lends itself to attractive uses, whether it's a landscaper, contractor, multiple use building. So I'll know in the first 2 weeks that we're out whether we need to discuss a price adjustment. I'll keep my thumb on the pulse of the listing status, and I'll get us to the finish line. But again, I'll keep the town and everyone involved that needs to make decisions as to where we are in the pricing so it doesn't become stale and hang out there longer than it needs to.
It is in the Village District, which is one of the most desirable districts for either a business, being approved for a business use, multifamily housing, mixed use, so it has a huge amount of potential. Go ahead, Joe. Joe Deegan.
Joe Deegan, son of Ossipee. I just want to, I believe we have money in a fund balance account.
Yes.
So worst case, at the end of the year, if you didn't have the money to expend, you could always go to DRA, request it under emergency relief, and the judge would most likely understand what's going on here, and they'd release those funds to be able to transfer into the operation.
So that is a great point that Joe just presented. Since I've been selectman now for 4 years, we have grown that fund balance up to $2.5 million, meaning the financial health of this town is the best it's ever been in decades. Financially, we are the best we've been because we've eliminated wasteful spending, we've eliminated the corruption. This town is on the straight and narrow. So Joe's point is valid. If absolutely emergency come end of the year, we could petition DRA to utilize some of those unassigned fund balance funds. Thank you, Joe, for that.
One more question.
Sure, Mr. Bowie.
Are we gonna, do we have a commitment on getting a professional appraisal on that building?
No, we don't need to. Mitch is a professional realtor, he's been doing this for, how long, Mitch?
Since 1995.
Since 1995, he knows the market, comparative market analysis, he understands the business side of it, we trust in him. Good.
I guess the question is, did the town officials hire him to do the assessment, or was it the people that made a vote to hire him?
No, it's up to the governing body, which is the 3 selectmen right here.
Oh, so it's not up to the people?
No.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Rokes.
Bobby Ropes from Center Ossipee. I just want to make a comment. I'm an engineer, I'm used to dealing with industrial buildings. We're getting a steal in this building. Okay, we really are. It's got top-notch systems. When you have heat in the floor, okay, keeps the concrete from cracking, keeps the frost out here. You got a great system of moving the air. A lot of people who put heat in the floor don't put these systems in to move the air to get everything to circulate. Okay? It's close to the dump. You need to work on something, it's easy to get here. You don't have to tow it all the way over there. There's multiple uses that you can use here, and it's value great.
Yeah, speaking of multiple uses, the highway, I wish the Public Works Director was here. There's another side benefit to this. So right now, we have our water truck, pump truck, which is instrumental and vital to maintaining our dirt roads. Right now, it's stored at the West Ossipee Fire Station. We're going to be able to store that here in the winter. Our grader, which the taxpayers approved and purchased for $300,000, I think. $330,000 is going to be stored in here in the winter on that side. So you're going to be protecting highway equipment, which is going to add longevity to it over the long run, I mean, without question. That loading dock with that crane, the highway department can utilize that to offload trucks. They don't have that now. So it has other uses, primarily PD, but it's also going to have some benefits for the highway department. I'm glad someone mentioned that. That was Bobby, thank you. Any other questions?
I'm gonna go back to, I still believe that this is a, I still believe that this would be better suited as a highway department. I did look at the building in the back of the highway department where they store the sand, salt, the containers for the liquids that they put on the roads. That building's gonna need some work. That building's in really sad shape. So we're gonna have to build another building back there. We have to do it at some point anyway. I really think we should consider this being the highway department and that being the police department. And I'll keep saying it.
Well, we've heard it 3 times.
There's other things that are going to happen along the way.
We know government's not cheap.
And that building in the back there is in really sad shape. It's a wooden building, wooden structure. It's got a lot of stuff stored in it that probably shouldn't even be there. But it's going to need to be addressed as well. So we should think about it.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Rose.
Can I address this comment?
Sure.
If I put the highway department here, I've got to have room for all the dirt, different sands. I've got to put in tanks because I need to fuel my equipment. I've got to put drains in the floor if I'm using this as a regular garage so that the wastewater doesn't go out. So there's a lot more investment in this building than you're going to have if you're keeping it where it is.
Okay. Thank you. We're not having a debate back and forth. So. Go ahead, Edwina.
Edwina, Chief, can you speak to the generator in the police department building now?
Yeah, don't work what I need it for.
Yeah.
That last storm everybody wants to talk about, I had no power in my office, nor my house. And I live 3 houses down from the police department. And you don't think I believe in, correcting taxes? And absolutely. But that generator was useless. I'll be honest with you, I couldn't do no work for 3 days. 3 days I couldn't do no work. So I drove around.
Go ahead, Mr. Bowie.
I don't think anybody disputes that this building isn't a really good deal and a good asset. It's a good purchase, no doubt about it.
Thank you.
Good asset for the town.
Go ahead, Mr. Stevens.
I think he's right. There is no dispute. The building is a great buy. It's just, I just want to make sure about the tax dollar, you know what I mean? People.
Like I just expressed, the town's in the best financial health it's been. That's proven through our audit. You guys can come in and review the audit any day of the week. It's a public document. The audit speaks volumes. So I would implore you to do that. Any other questions? Yep.
I have one other question.
I'm going to time you out.
Are you guys making a decision on this after this meeting?
No. But next meeting we'll probably do it.
Next meeting? Okay.
I yield my time to Dallas.
I know, and I'm still in the
You're all
opinion
right.
that
Dallas, you
all
bored
of
without
these,
your
all
input.
of these things could be handled. There's plenty of room for the piles of dirt. There's plenty of room for
We've
everything.
heard,
on it.
we've heard. Let's-
And it connects to the town dump.
Go ahead.
My name is Karen Barron.
Sure.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is this going to be only for police, or can any public events be held in here?
No, this is a police department facility. The town facility is used by the PD and the highway department. The emergency shelter thing that was broached is a possibility maybe. If and when something happened, the equipment could be pulled out and maybe it could be utilized. That'd be something for emergency management to look in. That's under his jurisdiction. Obviously with permission of the selectmen. I would imagine you need our permission because it's a town building to do that. I would say yes. Yeah. So that's what it would be. Sure. Any other questions? Going once, going twice, last call. Okay, looks like no further questions. Anything from the board or, no? Well, just stay tuned for future updates. I gotta make two good announcements here. So the Board of Selectmen, this started back 3 years ago. There's this gentleman named George Eisner. Did I say that correct?
Yes.
So we've been working with attorneys and the bank and courts and et cetera. It's all been through non-public. He left the town $2.1 million in his estate to the town, but it's going to be used only for conservation funds. I mean, for purchase of conservation land. So that's a huge, huge win for the town. Long-term, you can plan to buy up land that maybe doesn't have really viable commercial use, but it has good conservation use that we can purchase it. I can't announce, we are working on a piece right now that's going to have a great impact to this town for both conservation and recreational purposes as a secondary use, utilizing these funds. We can't announce that yet. That's going to be a great announcement when the board puts it forth. We're going to look forward to making that space very user-friendly.
Karen Barron,
Sure.
can anything be done with Duncan Lake to make it accessible for those of us?
You mean with that money, with the 2.1 million?
Any monies? Because
Well,
we don't have a beach in Ossipee. Everybody else does but us.
I agree with that sentiment. I voted for the beach when it failed, going back how many years ago?
We couldn't get in and vote.
Yeah, I know that
We're
was.
not going to rehash that.
Yes,
I just
I
want to
agree.
know, can anything be done there
So
to make it
if-
easier for us older folks?
So that money, that's not conservation land, so it couldn't be utilized. It's only meant to buy land. It can't be used to upgrade a piece of property. So unfortunately, we couldn't use the conservation land for that. That is a conversation for the budget process and town meeting next year. If we want to appropriate funds for that beach, that will be a discussion for town meeting and the budget process next year. So you could bring it to a meeting and we can talk about it.
So the Eisner request, I knew George, he had the world's greatest record collection.
Yeah.
It's strictly for purchasing new conservation.
Correct.
land, Not for maintaining, for example, as you
Right
said.
now, it was just for purchasing, is my recollection.
That's correct, per the trust document
Right.
of the purchase of the.
Right, so it's still a pot of money, but it has some strings attached. So, I got one other announcement. I know, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joy.
Can we use that as trails?
I'm sorry?
Can we use conservation land for trails?
Yes, sure you can, but the primary purpose is to conserve the land. Yeah. That'll be a secondary use. Yeah. Yep, you could. All right, I am going to close, I should have closed it initially before my comment on the conservation. I'm going to close the public hearing on the items we just discussed. I have one more announcement. I know I talked about this quite a few times, but the rail bill that I had put in, HB 1468, to bring the rail trail from Center Ossipee, Maltonville Road, Main Street, up to Route 113 in Madison, that has passed the House unanimously. It has passed the Senate unanimously. It's on the way to the governor's desk. The governor, I have no reason why he won't sign it. I'm going to contact the governor myself and ask him to sign it. I anticipate he will. There's going to be a news announcement placed on the town webpage asking for you as individuals, because it wouldn't have happened without, we've got hundreds and hundreds of letters of support that I compiled along with testimony from Dr. Bob Boos, who's here in the back. He came in person. Chris Elliott from Economic Development and the Friends of Ossipee Rail Trail. Phil Villari from Friends of Ossipee Rail Trail. They came to the State House and testified on behalf of this bill. Again, it passed unanimously out of the House. the Senate, and it's going to the governor. You very rarely see bills pass in unanimous fashion. There's always a handful of no votes. There were no votes. It passed. So that's good news. If that happens and this materializes, this is going to be the biggest economic driver for the downtown center Ossipee area, without question. More than anything that's ever been done, this is going to bring people there. They're going to have a purpose. People always say, we need a reason to go to center Ossipee. Well, this will be it. That'll be the starting point for the southern end. Madison will have their starting point up north. So it's going to be a huge, huge win for everybody. So once you see the news announcement, send letters or emails to the governor, call his office, say, please sign the bill. Very important. So with that being said, I am going to make a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for coming and thank you for the questions.
Five.